A couple things I remember about Bob too in youth were the joy of life, the love of competition, a real sense of purpose and resolve. I said I've never met a more disciplined guy in my life, and we're 12, 13 years old.
I think the thing that I remember Bob McDonald the most, particularly what he has done here for West Point, is how much he has cared for West Point.
He wrote his congressman when he was, I think he was 6 years old, telling him that he wanted to go to West Point.
When he said, what do you want to do? And what do I want to do? And Bob would always say, I want to go to West Point.
Fortunately, his congressman encouraged that, and with Bob's drive and determination, obviously he got there. Then when he graduated, even though he was number 13 in his class and could have gone almost any branch he wanted to go, he chose to go infantry, the tougher route. And then first assignment, where does Bob pick to go? The 82nd Airborne. I mean, all of those are so typically Bob. Choosing that route to, again, to serve, to be everything that he can possibly be, the very best person that he can be, and to continue to test himself.
McDonald, who's 61, served 5 years as an Army officer after graduating from West Point, then joined Procter & Gamble in 1980 and took over as CEO in 2009. During McDonald's time as CEO, he managed more than 120,000 employees and 200 brands, including Tide, Crest, and Gillette.
I remember vividly the day that the President offered Secretary McDonald the job to be Secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs.
Let me state the obvious. This is not going to be an easy assignment. Bob knows that, but like any Army Airborne Ranger, Bob has a reputation for being ready, jumping into tough situations, taking charge, and going all the way.
Bob didn't wince, he didn't blink. He took the job by the horns. It was a difficult time, and he turned and headed straight into the wind.
Bob McDonald led the largest transformational effort in the history of the Veterans Administration. He was passionate about getting to the roots, really, of the issues that have been plaguing the Veterans Administration for decades.
Bob is a consummate leader. He's an extremely hard worker. He works very smart. He's very compassionate. He's really started a legacy at the VA about getting things done and making things better for veterans.
I met Secretary McDonald as we were getting ready to start the planning for the Veterans Choice Act. We together had 30 days to figure out how to build an entire apparatus to serve as access point for care for our nation's veterans. Now 2 years later, 4.2 million veterans have been served through our network of 180,000 providers. That's standing up and being counted. And I found in Bob McDonald someone who was focused, someone who cared, someone who was unrelenting in their drive to try and make sure that we solve the problem for those who ran to the fire themselves.
And he formed innovative partnerships with organizations like mine that would bring value to his transformational efforts.
We even have a conference that Bob McDonald has put together. It is the epitome of conferences here at West Point because it brings students and leaders and mentors from across, not the nation, but across the world. And they get firsthand experience of what leadership is all about from these incredible mentors and speakers.
When you ask leaders in this veteran field, and I did, how they describe Secretary Bob, a few things are constant. He's accessible, he's authentic, but there's something that comes up time and time again that sums up his role best, and that's that he was described as being veteran-in-chief.
Mr. Secretary, this nation was fortunate to have you with an uncommon background of service and having been the CEO of one of the best customer service organizations in this country, run to the fire. You inspired us, you led us, and you created a base from which we will all be able to work going forward. Your legacy will live on.
Bob, I just want to say to you what a joy it has been to work with you. I have the greatest respect and admiration for you, and just want to congratulate you on this award. No one is more deserving.
Bob, on behalf of all of the United States Military Academy and West Point, we honor you, we respect you, and we thank you. Thank you for what you've done as one of our esteemed graduates.
I can't think of anybody more deserving this very appropriate recognition by a great organization, because it shows that you weren't just in Washington serving the veterans at a cabinet level position. You continue that commitment to some of the greatest Americans we know.
I am so pleased to see the Psych Armor Institute select Bob as their honoree to receive the Humanitarian Award. I can't imagine anyone any more deserving. Bob, congratulations to you and to all your family.